Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Too Far Away Adventures. Tonight, I come to you from my backyard. And the reason why we're in my backyard is because tonight I'm going to do a little video on everything that I'm taking with me on the trip, which we are now only 9 days away from. This is my Big Agnes tent, and right now I cannot remember what model of it is. It's the Tiger something, I believe. It's been sitting out here in the yard for the last week. This is how I test out new tents. I set them up in my backyard. That way I've got an easy escape if there's something not right with them, like they leak or whatever, which has never happened, so maybe I don't need to do that. But at any rate, it's been out here for the last 6-7 days. It's been out here. It's been through some pretty substantial wind, a lot of rain. It rained for about a day and a half, almost 2 days on it, and one of those days was pretty heavy rain. And I got to say, I'm pretty happy with it right now. It's stayed dry in there. Really no complaints with it. There was a little bit of water came up underneath the drop cloth, or the ground cloth, and it pooled inside there a little bit, but it never came through the bottom of the tent. I just kind of left it for a day to see what it would do, and I never got any dampness in there at all, so it was great. And also I've slept in it a couple of nights. I think I tried 2 nights. I tried to sleep in it, and one night I did. I'm trying to figure out which sleeping quilts to take. I don't use, and I forgot to bring them out here with me. I'll run up here and get them. I don't use sleeping bags. I take quilts, and I've got a 40-degree quilt, and the temperatures have been right down. The lows have been right down around 40 most of the nights for the last week. And so I've been trying to figure out exactly which one I need. I've got two 40-degree quilts, and I've got a 10-degree quilt. And the 10-degree quilt, I tried sleeping under it in the house, and it was about 60 degrees in the house, and I overheated with it. So I don't really think that's going to work. I'm going to be probably too warm in it. So I tried on a little camping trip I was on a couple weekends ago. I tried to do just the 40-degree quilt, and I froze. I barely slept all night, and I didn't have the other one with me. And I had my fleece jacket on, everything I had, except my rain pants I had on, and I was cold all night. Part of the problem, and I'll show you, and I don't want to say it's a real problem because I really like this sleeping pad, is my new Kilo Gear. Oh, here it is. My new Kilo Gear sleeping pad. And I've never had one of these before. I've got a Thermarest that I really like, but this thing's a little thicker, and it is very, very comfortable. And I also got the pillow from them, and that thing is very comfortable, and it's got a really nice adjustment point on it, where you can get the cushion, exactly the way that you like it. So I really like that about it. What I don't like about the Kilo Gear pad is that it's a little plasticky, but it seems pretty durable in that respect. And laying on it on the ground, it has its insulation baffles inside it, but I don't think it has enough, and it seems to allow the coolness from the ground to come up. And even though it was only about 40 degrees out, I've slept with a 40-degree quilt on my Thermarest on the ground, or below 40 degrees, and I've been okay with it. This I wasn't. I was just feeling cold spots on it. So I tried it out here again another night, and I just covered up loosely with two 40-degree quilts. That didn't work. And I ended up going in the house. Then the third night, I came out here and I wrap the quilt. And I'll show you how I do that in a moment here. I wrap the quilt around the Kilo Gear sleeping pad with the straps that come from. I've got hammock gear. I got them here. I'll show you. I've got hammock gear quilts here, so I've got two of them, two 40 degrees, and they've got straps on them so that you can wrap them around a sleeping pad. And when you wrap it around the sleeping pad, I think you can see them there inside there. There's one of them. when you wrap them around the sleeping pad and cinch them down, you're really in there nice and snug. And so I did that, and I got a little chilly like that, not too bad. But then I just pulled the other 40 over the top of me, and I was fine. I slept all night. I came out here about, I think about 10 o'clock at night, and I slept till 5 a.m. So I'm thinking that the 240s are going to work. I had to get a little bit bigger carry bag to carry them in, because the I didn't want to have to put them into two different packs. They come in, I think, 5 or 5.5 liter packs. So I bought a 20 liter one, which is probably overkill to stuff both of them in. I can get 2 of them in an 8.5, but boy, they're really packed tight. And I don't like to pack those too tight because they get their warmth from the down inside them. You don't want to compact it down too much because they stay packed up all day. And when I've got them in the house here, I leave them. I'm hanging in some big bags that they come with when you buy them from Hammock Gear. So that's the deal with the tent. So tonight we're going to go downstairs, and I'm going to go through all the stuff that I'm going to have on the bike with me for the trip. The whole pack out's going to be on there, and we'll do that. So this isn't going to be in it, and that's why I want to come out and show it to you. I'm going to probably sleep out here again tonight just for one last test on it. It's supposed to get down pretty close to 40 again tonight, just to make sure I'm happy with the whole setup. So we'll head on downstairs and take a look at the rest of the stuff going on the bike. Okay, so I told you I'd give you a look at before I went inside, I'd give you a look at how I do the quilt around my sleeping pad. So this is the back side of it. So it's got these straps on it that just you slide the pad down inside it. And this pad is much more difficult than getting a thermarest into it. You got to kind of stuff it and poke it through the end down there. I still haven't got it all the way down to the toe end, but I'll get that in there when I get in it tonight. Yeah, it ties it up. And so on the other side, when it's laying out, it looks like a sleeping bag, and you just lay down inside it. The insulation on the bottom doesn't help you any, because if it's like a sleeping bag, you just crush it. So there's no point in having insulation on the bottom. You just have it all on the top, and it's much lighter for carrying like as a backpacker or on a bike. So that's how I set that up. That'll go in the tent, and then I just drape this one over it. But I could actually wrap this one on it too if I wanted to. I find just draping it completely over it, like so, and I pull everything up over my head. Then I put a stocking hat on. I stay pretty toasty warm in there. I slept like this in one night on a thermarest though, down to 27 degrees, and I was fine. I didn't get cold at all. So that's the tent and the sleeping. I guess my sleep system is what I will call it. So we'll go in and take a look at the rest of the stuff that's going on the bike here in a minute. So we just come in from outside, out in the yard with the tent, and I'm going to do a little bit of a run through of the stuff that's going to go on the bike, everything that I'm going to take with me for the trip. And then I've also got there's a box of stuff that I'm going to have mailed to me, which is left open here so my sister can put stuff in it or take stuff out as I determine that I'm going to need it. And I'm going to have that mailed to me probably when I get someplace towards the Colorado Springs or Pueblo area, wherever I end up coming out, exiting Colorado. And that'll have more of my summer stuff in it, and I'll get to that in a minute. But this is going to be just the stuff that I have for this is going to be going on the bike with me now out to Cape Flattery to start the trip. So the way that I do my my kind of list of stuff that I want for clothing is I start on the outside and work my way in, or start on the inside and work my way out. And what I mean by that is the stuff closest to your body or furthest out from your body. So I've kind of got this laid out back to front here. I've got I got a rain jacket in the back here that's got a pair of rain pants in it. And then I have this fleece jacket, which I've been wearing quite a bit lately because it's still cool up here in Wisconsin, even in late May now. A fleece jacket that would be like my outer layer, or the rain jacket, an outer layer. And then kind of moving down this row of stuff here is just the clothing that I'd be wearing. Get that out of the way from day to day. And so I would have, you know, my riding clothes, a merino wool jersey, and a pair of long pants. I'm going to wear all, as I've said before, long sleeves and long pants for the trip because I'm going to be out in the sun all summer, and I'm getting old and I don't want to make myself look any older than I already do. And then, of course, I've got a chamois here. I don't typically wear one of these, but I do take one with me. In fact, I can't remember the last time I had one on, but I'm going to be really ramping up my mileage here in the next few days. So, well, next week anyway, when the trip starts. So I may need that, so I take one with me. Underwear, I think 3 pairs of socks plus the ones I've got on, and I've got a heavier pair of socks in here now that are for the cooler weather up at elevation and whatnot early on in the trip, and that'll be something that I'll probably mail back. And then I've got the clothes I sleep in at night, and again, that will be a mail back, and I'll just be getting a pair of shorts that come out. So these are like my camp clothes, sleeping clothes. And depending on the weather, I might just switch into my other set of, for camp clothes, switch into my other set of riding clothes. So my plan for the stuff that I wear when I ride is that I'll wear one set for a week, and then wash everything at the end of the week when I take a day off. And then the set that I had that I didn't wear would be the set that I wore the next week. So I would just flip-flop those back and forth. And it's just to minimize the amount of clothing that I take. I got a skull cap here for warmer weather, and then another one here. This one would be for colder weather, and mostly for probably sleeping at night when it's down. Once it gets down below about 45, I really feel like I need something on my head. So I know there's going to be some nights like that. And then I've got a pair of rain shoes over here, covers that go over my shoes. And those I really just got for slogging around in camp, or if I'm off the bike. I probably won't wear those on the bike. I'll probably just wrap a couple of plastic Walmart or whatever supermarket plastic bags around my feet and tie them up real tight and ride with those. Those work great. They're very light on your feet. And I'm really afraid my pedals will probably tear up the bottom of these anyway. So I just want something I can, if I've got to be walking around in the rain or something, setting up camp or whatever, or, you know, I can do that. So that kind of takes the clothing stuff out of the equation. The back here, we get to my kitchen, pretty minimal. I've got a jet boil and a pot back there with one jet boil cooker, a couple of canisters of gas, and there's actually one in the jet boil. And then I've got a life straw for purifying water if I've got to, you know, acquire some suspect water out of a stream or something somewhere. I would probably use that. A dish towel and a dish rag, and then more of my kind of personal stuff down in here. A first aid kit, toilet paper, obviously. This is contains my low light glasses in it, which is just a pair of safety glasses with readers in them that are kind of wraparound. They're actually very nice and very comfortable, and they work. This would be stuff that I would carry for glasses, tissues, a spare pair of glasses. I probably would throw like some Tylenol and ibuprofen in there just to have that real handy up in the front of the bike. And then this bag here is my toiletries. It's got a few more things to go in it. I haven't got that completely filled up, and some stuff to come out of it that I decided on a trip I did last weekend that I don't need. Mosquito repellent, sunblock. Mostly that's for my face. The rest of me is going to pretty well stay covered up. And then we move over to I call this kind of my food keeping and safety equipment. So in the back here, I've got I think that's a 10-liter bear bag. I believe it is a 10-liter bear bag. And all of my food, toiletries, anything that's got a scent goes in that. I typically keep about a day's worth of food on the bike. I can get enough stuff in about half of that bag for that, and then toiletries and the rest of the stuff are good. So here is something that I have not decided on if I'm going to take it or not yet, and that's my FlexLite Air chair, FlexLite Air chair. I got that from REI. I really like to have something to sit on and camp at night other than like a picnic table, or if I'm wild camping someplace, I have nothing. You're just sitting on the ground or you're laying in the tent. I'd like to have a place where I could, something I could sit out on. So I'm undecided about whether I'm going to take that or not yet. Bear bag, bear spray, a trowel, and this one's actually got a serrated edge on it. It's very light. And the serrated edge, you could cut stuff with it, cut little pieces of wood up or something if you wanted to have a fire. I did get a patch kit the other day for my Big Agnes tent for the, this is for the mosquito netting, which most of the tent's mosquito netting, so I thought I probably ought to have one of those. Here I have a bag of just straps and ties and some Velcro straps just for, sometimes you got to hang things off the bike. I hang my laundry off the bike during the day to dry it out if I have wet stuff from the day before that I want to dry out, so I can use it for that. I do have a couple of ropes here. This is for the bear bag. It's a 50-foot rope. I got a loop in one end of it. I'm going to use my bag that my tent ground cover goes in, the bag that it goes in. I'm going to use that actually for my weighted bag to tie to the other end of the rope to throw it over to hoist the bear bag at night. And then I've got a smaller one here. I like to have a little clothesline to be able to put up, and I've got some clothespins around here someplace, so I've got to find them and take them. And then the other things that are laid out here, I've got this is all the filters and extra rotor blades and some tools, my license for the drone and my registration for the drone. And then in this packet I have, whoops, I dropped them. In this packet, this is just full of the all of my SD cards for the camera and the drone, an SD card in there so that I can move video, USB plug-in backup drive here, so I can transfer video off of the cameras and the drone onto that and use that to either upload from my phone or from my Surface Pro. So, okay, I'm going to switch gears here and move to all the electronic stuff that I'm going to take with me. And this is the most electronic stuff I've ever taken on a trip, and primarily because I've never done video before, and it does take a little bit of gear to get that done. So I've laid all of that out on this table down here. I'm just going to kind of quickly go through what I've got and why I've got it. So over on this side of the table, I have pretty much the video stuff that I'm using. I've got the drone, the controller for the drone. In the back here, this is the battery pack and charger for the drone. I also have in that little pack there, a tripod for that's going to be for my cell phone, to put my cell phone on if I want to shoot video with that. And I'm planning on doing some Instagram videos to update every morning. So because the videos from the trip are going to probably lag behind my travel a little bit, so I was thinking I would just do a quick Instagram update maybe every morning and every evening when I stop. So I brought that tripod to do that. And so along with just the drone and their batteries and stuff, I've got some tools. I keep my drone license, my registration for the drone in there, and then I've got a packet here of, this is just nothing but SD cards, and I've got a zip drive in there as well for storing video on, and I keep the some little tools and whatnot for the drone in there as well, or for the camera, I'm sorry. And then moving along down here, this is more for the action cam stuff. This has got the Bluetooth microphone, the remote controller for the action cam, and also I keep the battery for the spare battery for the action cam in there. As far as the other things that I'm taking outside of the video stuff, a couple of bags back here to keep the drone and the controller for the drone in, to stick it in to contain it while it's in the bag that I keep it in on the bike. Over here I have this is my Spot Find Me. Is that what it's called? Save by Spot. It's a GPS tracker which will update my position every 30 minutes. And the reason I got that was really just a safety thing. I'm not going to have it on live to where people can see, where I'm at exactly all the time. but it does update my location, and it was something my family requested. They wanted to know where I was. Okay, so this here is the all the wires and everything that I need for charging. I've got a little block battery pack here for when I'm in places where I can hook up to live power and charge stuff. I can do that. Back here I have a camp headlight, and I love that thing. It really lights things up in camp at night when it's dark and you're trying to do things and get things done. And then over here, this is my Apcon power converter. So I have a dyno hub on the bike which charges, which runs the headlight and the tail light on the bike. And the Apcon, what it does is it's actually a small battery in there, and so that sits up on the up in the right in front of me on the bike. You've probably seen it hanging out on some of the videos there when I'm filming around the front of the bike. There's the cords that are coming out of a little pack up there in the front. It sits up there, and then there's a wire that runs down to the dyno that plugs into that. That little battery gets charged from the dyno, and then I can hook things up to the this is the connection for the dyno to go to the dyno, and this is the connection that you can put on anything that will recharge by USB. So the way that I kind of manage the power there is the dyno runs the headlight and the tail light, and it charges that converter. The converter can be plugged into anything as you're going down the road with the dyno on, and it will charge the whatever device you've got connected to it. I can also take that little charger, it'll charge up just like any battery, and I can take it off the bike, for example, into my tent or something, and I can plug something into it and charge it. And in the past, I've actually used that because I didn't have a backup battery. I would use that to charge my phone at night when I was in the tent, and it'll charge my cell phone from like 20% down up to about 80%. I only charge my phones to 80% because they say it helps preserve the battery life, and that's usually enough to get me through the day anyway. So and I have the ability to charge it at any time I want to, so I'd only charge them to 80%. But so that thing will serve as another backup battery for me. I think I've got everything here. All my earbuds and their little packet, and they've got their own separate cord for charging. It's got a funny little end on it that you need a special cord for. So I think that covers all of the electronics, and so that'll be the end of this video, and we'll see you out there on the road.